Hey, it's Bill, and you're tuned into 3 Questions and a Song right here on BuildTheScene.com. This is episode number 39. With me tonight are Eric and Bobby C. from
What up?
Royal Honey. What's up, guys?
What up? What up?
Have that over-the-shoulder Royal Honey logo there.
Yeah.
And if you look below Eric, there's RoyalHoneyBand.com. And get that one in there quickly.
Yep. Brand new spanking website. You should know something about that, Bill.
I might. Those of you that are starting to tune in, if you comment on the video, we will be able to see it. I forgot to mention that to Bobby C and Eric. There should be a button on your screen that says comments or live comments. If you click it, it'll bring up a little area that the live comments pop up in. So if anybody types anything in there, you'll be able to see it. Sometimes we get interactions, sometimes we don't on this one. PA Rock Show, we tend to get more because it's longer.
Cool.
But, all right, so this is episode 39 of 3 Questions and a Song. This podcast is exactly that. There's 3 questions. We talk about a song, and then we get out of here. So the Royal Honey and 10 other bands recently released a compilation together under the Rattle Clack label. And that's the song we're going to talk about is American Jive. We'll do that a little bit later. But I'm going to open things up with 2 questions, and then we'll get to that. So my first question is that you guys, I believe, have gotten to play at least 2 shows recently that I saw.
Yep.
And it's weird to ask this question, but how did that feel? Because that really hasn't been happening a lot lately.
It felt awesome. We've been practicing all along. We actually had some other gigs that were canceled along the way. This back half of the year would have been a big year for us. We had a lot of big shows lined up. Tuck Smith, we were going to open for. We were going to open for some the London Choir Boys. I mean, there was a lot of bands that canceled, unfortunately. So to be able to play or do anything, and that was because the Borston Boys reached out to us, was great. It was a little unusual, but they do everything pretty top-notch at Jurgles, I will say, as far as keeping social distancing, keeping the number of people down, limiting. Like we couldn't even stand. We could stand at the merch booth, but people couldn't stand there and interact with us. So they had to make their purchase and move on. So it was handled pretty safe. I mean, it was great to do, but I will say when you're not used to playing on a regular basis and you start playing and you're 53 years old, you feel it by the 3rd song that you're 53 years old. That's my perspective. Eric, I'm sure you have a different one. But
No, actually it's I pretty much agree with you. It was kind of weird after not playing for 5 months to play 2 back-to-back weekends. We did indoors at Jurgles, but like Bobby said, it was really, really spaced out. So even though there was probably 100 people in the building, that place holds 700 people. So it felt and looked kind of empty. All of our friends were there, but they were so spaced out that it seemed like we were almost playing to an empty room at times. So it was weird from an energy perspective. We were glad to be playing, very happy to be playing, and we had some energy on stage. I think just because of the scenario we were in, and people were loud, and that was cool, and they tipped, and that was cool. Just everything about it was great, except, you look out there and there's, 15 or 20 people sitting on the floor where normally you'd have 100 people smashed into that. And then this past weekend, we played an outdoor gig where there were a lot of people there. But again, because it was outdoors in such a huge facility, people were pretty spread out, and it was run very safely as well. Both shows had excellent sound. They were very well run, and we got to play with a bunch of really cool bands that are not only great talent, but they're friends of ours in most cases. So
we don't get to play with those bands a lot either, many of those bands. So that was interesting. I will say, Matt and those guys, they put on a great show out there. They're very professional. That situation I would definitely recommend to anybody. I mean, next year we're thinking about maybe if we get invited back, I know we want to rent an RV and just stay out there for the weekend.
Stay there.
Yeah.
By the way, that was the Rock for Life Festival out at Iceland Ballfield this past week. Part of the Rock for Life Festival series. I think there's at least 3 or 4 shows that they wrap into a series every year to benefit. There's a couple of good benefits, and maybe you two actually could speak more on that.
So yeah, I definitely can. First of all, if you want to find out more about them, you can go to rockforlifeconcert.com, which is another website that I do. And it actually benefits usually 1 or 2 children that are battling some kind of ailment, usually cancer or something along those lines. I don't know. Did you guys meet Alicia while you were out there?
Is that the young lady who the benefit was for this year?
No, that was JC.
I did meet the young lady who is the one gentleman's sister, I think. That they had it for her a few years ago. I want to say that he's a bass player for a couple of those bands, Common Crown and those bands like that.
All right, so you're talking about Steve Craven, and that probably was Alicia, but they're not actually related.
Oh, okay.
Alicia was actually one of my students. So in fact,
I think they brought her up on stage. Yeah, they brought her up on stage and they introduced her to everybody. And since this was our first event, our first time attending that event or playing it, we were learning a lot, and that was cool to do, and it was nice to meet a lot of those people.
Yeah, Alicia would have been on stage when Slant Six did Say Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. Then they went on right after us. So, that's what I remember.
But this bracelet that's probably going to go see through here, but it says Angels for Alicia Ruby. That's her.
Okay.
I've had this on for about 2 years straight. But yeah, it always benefits usually 1, sometimes 2 children. And as you mentioned, it is multiple shows. Usually there is Irish Metal Fest, which is in March, right around St. Patrick's Day. Then Gigaroo in July, Rock for Life in August. In September is the concert for Anna. And then there's usually a Christmas show as well. And then sometimes they sprinkle some other ones in between there. So usually 5, if not more.
Wow. I didn't realize it was so big.
It's a lot to deal with, man. That's a full-time job.
Yeah. And this is the 21st year that they've done it.
That's crazy.
I'm glad they were able to get it in too, because Bobby runs his own charitable show every year to benefit the Greater Pittsburgh's Women's Shelter. And this year, we're struggling to find a date for it just because of everything going on. We're not sure, and ours is always indoors, so that's up in the air right now, and it's really cool to see that they were able to still put that on. Both of them. Gigaroo was last month, and Rock for Life, this past weekend. So.
Bobby, if you want, you can mention that show. I mean, even if it's not going to get pulled off.
Yeah, so Excusapalooza, that's the benefit we usually do. We usually do it in August every year at Excuses on the South Side, thus Excusapalooza. It's a little bit smaller venue, but we usually get a really nice draw there. It's a one-day event, and I try to pack in as much as I can. So alumni for it would be the Cheats, the Motorcycles, the
Legendary Hucklebucks,
yeah, Legendary Hucklebucks, Stone Cold Killer. So many different bands over the years. A couple little all-star things where we got Jaffo from Joe Grishecki's band to come in and put together a little band and play. So all different genres of music. Molecule Party, which is an industrial band. So a bunch of different kinds of music put together all in one situation to raise money for the women's shelter. My girlfriend did a bunch of little pops this year. So if you see those out there and advertised or anybody's purchased one, those revenues are still going to the women's shelter. But we really haven't had a ability to find a responsible way to do the benefit for the women's shelter this year. So it may be put off until next year. Or maybe we may do 2, one in the spring and one in the late summer.
Yep. I know it's difficult. I know it's difficult to do the online playing, but the software we're using right now, if you have the right hardware on the other end, would be a pretty good option. Clyde Caldecott
Yes, I know who you're talking about. He did the other one. We were actually
right,
part
your
of that.
video was in.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm. And that was really cool. And they actually shot that live where we rehearse at. So we would have access to do something like that. But in the beginning, when he was doing it, it was really, I mean, he had a lot behind it because he even got broadcast on broadcast TV. So, I mean,
Right.
that was really super cool thing to see and have happen. I think now the logistics could probably be worked out a little better for something like that, and it could be something we'll talk to Ralph about. It could be something that happens, you know.
Yeah, that Clyde show was cool, but it was so early. I think it was back in April, and bands. I don't even think bands were practicing back then, and we certainly were not. So like it was a lot of solo artists out of their living room and things like that. And you know, we happen to have a previous footage from a band shot at our practice location that we were
The
able to
video
submit
you
that
shot.
to.
It was the video you shot.
No, that one was that was a different outfit that came. It was Eric
Okay.
Kellerman and his but yeah, those I think we had Bill in there and Eric the same month to do different shots for us, but
Hey, your banner's falling down
my
behind you.
banner's falling down. Yeah. Oh well, I guess I'll just move this way then. How's
There
that?
you go. There you go. That was great.
All right, so that was question one, and I asked some other questions, but those aren't official questions. When neither is this one. when you were at Jurgles, you were mentioning that it holds 700 people, and there's about 100 people. How does that affect the sound there? Because you know the bodies are going to absorb sound, and they're just not there.
That sound tech's been working there for a while. He's a pro. He's been around. He's really, really good, dude. So
That's
the sound
AJ,
on stage, the sound on stage never really changes a lot because both of my guitar players play at like godly, unnameable levels.
Don't
that
listen to
you
this
can
thing.
never hear anything at all. So
at like 31.
it doesn't change much on stage for me. It didn't sound much different. And as far as what it sounded like when we were up front, it sounded great for the Borstal Boys. So I didn't really notice a big difference to that. So maybe that's a hand to the the engineer. He's a really good engineer. So
Yeah, that's AJ out of Jurgles, and he's I have no doubts that he would have accounted for that.
Cool. All right, question 2. Now it's time for an oddball question.
Empire Strikes Back.
Okay, I'll alter the question.
No, you don't have to.
If you were going to, if they were going to make a rockumentary about Royal Honey, who would play each member of your band in that film?
It would have to be Kevin Spacey would have to play me, bald, but Kevin Spacey would play me.
Jeff Daniels would play me.
I can see both of those.
And let's see. I would love to see like Danny DeVito play Ange, but
I was gonna say De Niro.
Yeah, or De Niro. Yeah, De Niro is somewhere in between there. Maybe, yeah,
Pacino. Pacino would make a good Ange.
Yeah, that's probably right. There we go, Pacino. That's what we'll say. But I really think Danny DeVito would play a great Ange. It would be awesome, as a matter of fact, making him look young and everything. Dave, let's see, who would play Dave? That's a good question.
That is a good question. I'm gonna have to come back to Dave.
Yeah, Greggy. I say Corey Feldman would play Greg.
Could you keep him off of backing vocals, please?
Yeah, sure, no problem. Greg wears a mask most of the time these days, so that's not a problem at all.
Okay,
You've heard Corey sing, right?
Yes, no, I have. I know exactly what you're referring to.
Is he the one that is still alive?
He did the Hard Rock. I wanted to go so bad. They said it was one of the greatest train wrecks you ever seen of your life. Only Fletch opened up that show, oddly enough. because they had shirts that they had marketed with Corey with his face on it, right? And he found out about it on social media and requested that Only Flesh open up for him. He had no idea what they're. Are you familiar with Only Flesh?
I'm not. Oh, wait, yes.
Right.
The ones that like hang on from the hooks.
Right. Yeah. They're kind of like dead in
yeah.
tortures kind of like thing like that, you know? And so he requested it and they opened it. It was like, I wanted to go to that show so bad, but it sold out and I didn't get a chance to go.
We still got to come up with Dave. I'll give you Corey Feldman for Greggy. I was thinking Joe Pesci or something, but you'd have to lighten his hair up.
Yeah.
But who would play Dave, Bobby?
I don't know.
Your band is a mafia movie.
Yeah. How about we have Sam Elliott play Dave? A young Sam Elliott play.
There you go.
More along the lines of in the Dude, you know, in the Dude movie, that character he plays there.
That was awesome.
All right.
Okay, so what I need from you now is we're gonna move on to that portion of the show where you tell me a little bit about the track we're gonna listen to, American Jive, which is track 1 on the compilation, which coincidentally I think was an awesome intro. It smacks you in the face, and then the album just, you know, Chris, it just continues to do that the whole way through.
I agree with you.
That's a great song. It's actually one of the first songs we wrote with Dave. Dave writes pretty much most of the material. Eric adds his, I change up the lyric a little bit and the phrasing. Ange comes up with his parts and things. But Dave pretty much came to the table with a pretty much completed song there. It has a little bit of, wants to leave and go to Mexico, kind of Trump, anti-Trump kind of thing there at the beginning, but it's totally not a political song whatsoever. But I always wanted to lead it off with "You're fired." I was just wanted "You're fired" and then start into the song, but we never were able to make that happen. But that's what it reminds me of. It's just a good time, rock, fun, real quick in and out song. Those are the ones that I think we do the best at. We have a lot of different kinds of material. Dave's a great songwriter. Eric writes some great songs as well. So I'm pretty lucky in my position that all I have to do is just bring attitude to it. So.
Yeah, we recorded this tune with Jazz Byers, who did the whole compilation, and that's him on the cover. I don't know if we can see that. There we go.
Hanging out of the engine.
Yeah, hanging out of the engine. That's Jazz. He put this whole compilation, 11 local bands, and about a month and a half ago, he did a live Facebook kind of a drawing where he just pulled all the names out of a hat, and that set the order for the compilation, the song track listing. He pulled out our name first, so we were just absolutely beside ourselves. We were so happy to have our track leading it off. And, after I listened to all the other songs, I realized that, this whole thing is just jam packed with talent. I was pleasantly surprised, because sometimes you don't know what you're going to get. But, Jazz recorded everything. He did a top notch job. Recording with us was us recording with him was really seamless. We went in real quick. Couple hours, we were in and out, and we did 2 mixes of this actually. We did a mix that we released as a bonus track on our CD called Hype Money and Misbehavior. We released that last summer, and because the compilation was delayed, to be quite honest.
I have a story for you about how that ended up getting finished.
Well, okay, all right, you can add that. But when Jazz finally did come back to us and say, hey, this is happening again, and we picked names out of a hat, and you're going to be first. I was like, okay, a couple things. First of all, delays are usually not a good thing, but in this case, with COVID-19 going on and nobody playing in 5 or 6 months, this could not have happened at a better time, actually, because this sparked life into into promotion and an attraction for 10 or 11 different bands in the area who really had nothing else going on. And that got the ball rolling, where we've got another new song coming out on another different compilation in a couple of months. And we started to play our first couple of shows in a long, long time. So it was like, it just started the train rolling for momentum with us again. And we're excited that not only this compilation came out here back in July, but it was able to start the ball rolling for us for a couple of different things. And we've got some national shows coming up if they don't get canceled. We've got Faster Pussycat and Enough's Enough. That's in October.
Kicks.
Yeah, we'll be opening for Kicks again in December. That's December 5th. And those are both at Jurgles. If things start to open up a little bit, I don't know how they'll handle things if they stay at this 25% capacity, but I guess we'll just wait and see. But that's what's on the roadmap for us right now is this compilation. We got another vinyl compilation coming out with another song. We've got a couple of shows, and then we've got those national shows. And then we're mixing 6 more songs for our next release right now. And, we'll plan that around a release date when we can actually play a release show. So at this point we're looking at winter. But that's what's on the roadmap for Royal Honey.
So my story about the compilation, I'm trying to find the exact episode so I can give you the date. And it's not cooperating.
It was your radio show that.
Yeah, I can't find it. It must have been a PA Rock show, not three questions in a song. But I was having Unbroken Soul on, and they wanted to do their song Maelstrom, which Jazz had recorded, and it wasn't quite finished yet. So Jazz mixed it, and then that got him into the mood to finish mixing everything else, and that was the Kickstarter.
Cool.
So.
Yeah, like I said, that delay usually is not a good thing, but in this case, it almost couldn't have been more perfect. It gave us something to look forward to in the summer, where there was almost nothing else going on this summer. So,
before we listen to the song American Jive, Bobby, the mask you just had on is that available?
This is it's going to be available. We have a few right now. This is just like a mock-up. We just, my girlfriend actually made these up, which I think is kind of a cool idea. I'm for whatever you want to do. Just be safe, so you can get back to work and everybody else can get back to work and we can start playing regular gigs. So we have these. We're not trying to be opportunistic. It was just a little thing. So we have 10 right now total, probably 5 for sale. If somebody really wanted to buy one, we could make that happen. But we're going to get some more made up.
Cool.
Yeah.
Will they be available on the website?
Sure.
Yeah, we can put them on the website if we want to get more made. I don't know how long it took her to get that batch made, but we can get another batch or 2 and throw them up there.
Not very long. How long did it take, Corey? What? To have these made? A week. So we got a week turnaround. Yeah, we'll have them.
Cool. All right, so we're going to take a moment and we're going to listen to American Jive by Royal Honey, and we'll be right back. Those of you that are tuned in live for the first time, I'm not actually going to play the song because Facebook would mute us. So if you want to hear the song American Jive, you can go to buildthescene.com and request it, or you can go to buildthescene.com and go to shows and select 3 questions and a song and listen to this episode after August 15th of this year, 2020. All right, so now we're going to come back in. I will ask you the question from Arsenic, and we'll go from there.
Okay. Should I go downstairs and put a wig on and some makeup real quick?
I wish you would have thought of that quicker.
I know. I wish I would have too. I have a couple wigs downstairs. I could have done that.
All right, we're back. That was American Jive by Royal Honey. You can find them at royalhoneyband.com, and the compilation disc was put out by Rattleclack Entertainment, which is rattleclack.com. It's Eric at the bottom of your screen and Bobby C to my left. See what I had to do there?
Yeah.
It's to my left. So on the last episode of 3 Questions and Song, I had the band Arsenic which is spelled like arsenic, but has an H in the middle. They are from Donsk, Poland. And I don't want to mess up her name, so I'm just going to leave it at that. But she's going to ask you a question, which was, why no females in your band?
Just never presented itself. We've had backup singers perform with other bands I've been in, but in this particular band, just never presented itself. That's my best answer.
Yeah, this band kind of was formed from the ashes of a couple of other bands, the Dirty Charms that Bobby and Ange were in together, and Gas Tiger that Ange was also in with Dave and Greg. And so the opportunity just presented itself for the four of them to really just almost kind of continue where they left off, just with new songs. And then when they decided to need a second guitarist, I had already been kind of planting the bug in Ange and Bobby's ear and said, if you guys start something new, I'm very interested. So I want to say it kind of came together just organically, with not a whole lot of thought. It just kind of happened, and I think it was meant to happen that way. And the pieces are fitting together really well, and we got a lot of momentum right out of the gate. And I don't see us stopping or really even slowing down to change anytime soon. Where things are going well, and we're happy.
I did want to mention, I don't know if you saw me put it up on the screen. Tim from Unbroken Soul, when we were talking about your track, said that it was a great song and the perfect intro to the compilation.
Yeah, I saw that. I wanted to say thank you, but I didn't know how to get on there and do that. I'm not technologically savvy. I was clicking on it, and it wasn't allowing me to do anything. So I saw that you put thanks, Tim. Hey, thanks, Tim. We appreciate that.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. We've had the opportunity between the other podcasts, live casts that we've done with you, Bill, and even this past weekend out at the Rock for Life show, we've run into a lot of guys from a lot of the bands that that we were on this compilation with, and a couple of the guys and a bunch of different bands have made comments like, hey, that was a great energetic track to lead it off, and we're really appreciative of that. But like I said, after listening to all the other songs, there was so much talent on this disc that I feel like any of the bands, any of the songs could have easily led this disc off. So I'm really thankful that, just random drawing, it came out that way, because, most people get at least through the first track before they start nodding off or not paying attention or going back to work or whatever they're doing when they're listening to CDs these days. We're happy about it, and we're happy that there's so much energy on this disc.
I didn't even make it halfway through the disc before I sent Jazz a message and said, "Hey, I'm going to do a special on this."
So. Yeah, it's good. It's very good. I've listened to it probably like about 15 or 20 times all the way through. I always make it through to like the first 4 songs, because that's when I get to work, and then it started over again usually. But because I like to hear that first song.
That's how I listen to my podcast after I've put them out. I listen to them on my way to and from work, and then I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. But
with any luck, we'll have a video coming out for American Jive soon, in the next couple of weeks, because there's one thing about this tune that I didn't mention when you asked us, Bill, but like the ending of the song is just Bobby basically taking control of the crowd, especially in a live setting, and he just asks, "Are you glad to be alive? Are you glad to be alive?" And there has been, like, I can't think of another time in my life where just that question makes people think so much, because of all the crap that is going on right now. Like little things like going to a baseball field with a stage to see some live music. You can't take that for granted anymore. We used to, like, you never thought of it like that. But now it's like, are you just glad to be alive and be outside and listening to live music? And it's like, wow, holy crap. The lyrics, some of the lyrics in this song that Dave wrote is just, it makes me think differently than I used to. So
I do want to mention that you guys are slated to be on my other podcast, the Pennsylvania Rock Show, on September 18th. So we'll have more things to talk about then. Maybe the video. If you get it out.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, we by September, Bill, we'll have we're mixing our next CD right now, and next weekend, or actually later this week, we're slated to shoot some in-studio video footage for what will be the first single off of that disc, and that'll be a song called "Cut and Run." So we'll probably start debuting "Cut and Run" single by the time we get back with you in September. Okay.
Cool. Who is David Cross?
So David Cross is like Dr. Fuike from I can't remember that. What's the name of that show, honey, that he's on? He's on the Mr. Show, but he's also on that. He's Tobias Fuike or whatever. He's the Never Nude on the show that Ron Howard narrates. What's the name of that show? Arrested Development.
Okay.
If you look at it, you'll see it's pretty funny, but yeah, no, it shouldn't be.
I have no idea who that is. So
Kevin Spacey. You need the psychoticness of Kevin Spacey to truly play me properly.
Okay, so 2 more things I need from you guys. One is I need you to ask a question of Eric Winger, who is the next episode's guest on September 1st.
Go ahead, Bobby. You ask yours.
Yeah. So my question of what's Eric Winger?
Eric Winger.
My question of Eric Winger is, how many times are you asked, is Kip Winger related to you? That's my question.
And the fact that he's originally from Pennsylvania really plays right into that. So
there you have it.
And I just need you to run down some social media links. And of course, your website is royalhoneyband.com right there below Eric.
Yep. So that's the Direct Band website. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/RoyalHoneyPGH. That's Royal Honey Pittsburgh. You can also find our music both on our direct website as well as at Bandcamp, and that link is royalhoney.bandcamp.com. What are we missing? We're on Instagram.
If you're a streamer, you can stream us on iTunes. You know, if you have iMusic,
Spotify. Yeah,
Spotify.
just do. Yeah, you can just search for us.
You can spend monetary units and send them to us. We'll take Bitcoin. We're big Bitcoin collectors.
No, we're not. Yeah, basically those 3: the royalhoneyband.com, facebook.com/royalhoneypgh, and royalhoney.bandcamp.com are the 3 big ones. You can pretty much get everywhere from our direct website.
Bitcoin thing.
Hey, I'll take a couple Bitcoin units. Why not? I mean, aren't they supposed to be worth a lot of money, or did that go away now? Is that done?
I think it was up and then down, but I have no idea.
Yeah,
it won me a prize 2 years ago.
Did it? Okay.
Yeah, I was teaching social studies, and we were doing a stock market game, and one of my students was just killing it. And I asked her, I'm like, where are you getting all this money? And she's like, Mr. Damiano, go buy Bitcoin. So she and I finished in the top 5 amongst teachers and students, and we both got Amazon gift cards. It was awesome.
Ah, nice. Yeah. I know a doctor I worked with a couple of years ago. He was big into Bitcoin. He was researching it and buying a little bit and a little bit and a little bit. And then he showed me, he's like, look, it's gone up exponentially. And I said, but is it tangible? Is it real? I mean, what is it really? You know? It's like a created monetary unit.
Yeah, I have never used it other than in that game.
Well, yeah, that's great.
And it kind of made me money. I got an Amazon gift card for it.
Well, yeah.
But
who knows?
All right, so I do want to thank you guys. Hang out for a moment. Once we're done with the live, we'll chat for a couple minutes. Those of you that have been checking the show out, make sure you go to buildthescene.com or parockshow.com. That'll hit you up both of my podcasts. There is a link on Build a Scene that takes you to about 17 other unsigned local band podcasts that you can check out. And every so often you'll find articles on there as well, or some upcoming shows are listed as there on buildascene.com/concerts. You can find venues if you're in a band, buildascene.com/venues, all kinds of stuff there. My name is Bill. It's been episode number 39 of 3 Questions and a Song, and we'll catch you on the 1st.
Thanks, Bill.
See you later. Thanks, Bill.